Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. Today, we are diving deep into the fascinating world of Australian coin collecting, and we've got a truly intriguing coin to uncover. The legendary 1970 Australian 20-cent coin with no mint mark. You may have walked past one of these without a second thought, but what if I told you that you could be sitting on a hidden treasure? Now, when it comes to rare coins, collectors look for three things: age, condition, and uniqueness. And the 1970 20-cent coin ticks all the right boxes. But what really makes it stand out is its lack of a mint mark, a detail that might seem insignificant at first glance. But in the world of numismatics, it can be the difference between a common coin and a collector's gem. Let's talk history. The 20-cent coin was first introduced in Australia in 1966, when the country transitioned from pounds, shillings, and pence to the decimal system. Designed by the renowned sculptor Stuart Devlin, the reverse of the coin famously features a beautiful platypus gliding through water, a symbol of Australia's unique wildlife. Fast forward to 1970. This was a year that marked a turning point for Australia, a year of celebration, change, and cultural awakening. It was the bicentenary of Captain James Cook's landing on the east coast of Australia. Coins minted during this period were often kept as souvenirs, but some quietly entered circulation. What makes the 1970 20-cent coin particularly valuable is its mystery. Unlike other coins, some versions were struck without a mint mark, that little detail on a coin that tells us where it was produced. Most coins from that year were struck at the Royal Australian Mint in Canberra, but others were minted in London and South Africa. Yet some slipped through without any indication at all, and these are the ones collectors dream about. Over time, these no-mint mark coins became harder and harder to find. Many were spent, lost, or damaged. Only a handful remain in pristine condition, and those few are considered numismatic treasures. But here's where it gets exciting. In the world of coin collecting, rarity and condition are everything. A regular 1970 20-cent coin, in circulated condition, might fetch a few dollars. But a no-mint mark version, in near uncirculated or uncirculated condition, that's an entirely different story. Some of these have been valued as high as 2,000 Australian dollars in private sales and auctions. Yes, you heard that right. A 20-cent coin potentially worth $2,000. That's why people are now going back through their old coin jars, their piggy banks, their dusty drawers. Because finding one of these could be like finding gold in your own home. It's the kind of hidden treasure that sparks the imagination and ignites the hunt. And remember, we're not talking about a fantasy or a myth. These coins are real. They exist, and they're waiting to be discovered by someone who knows what to look for. Someone like you. So how do you know if you've got one? Start by examining any 1970 20-cent coins you have. Look closely. Is there a mint mark? If not, and the condition is excellent, you may just be holding a small fortune in your hands. Take it to a professional coin dealer or numismatics expert and have it evaluated. Collectors across the world are searching for this coin. There are online forums buzzing with interest, social media groups full of coin hunters sharing their finds, and auction houses waiting to take bids. This isn't just a collector's item. It's a piece of history, a symbol of Australian heritage, and a testament to the art of coin making. Coins like this remind us that value isn't always measured by face value. Sometimes it's about rarity. Sometimes it's about the story. And the 1970 20-cent coin tells a story of mystery, craftsmanship, and hidden wealth. Don't let anyone tell you that old coins are worthless. In fact, the value of collectible coins has been steadily rising over the years. As more collectors enter the scene and supplies dwindle, the prices for coins like the no-mint mark 1970 20-cent are only expected to rise. This is not just a cool find. This is a potential investment. So, start checking your change. Go through those old inherited collections. Look in the forgotten corners of your home. Because finding one of these coins is like striking oil, rare, unexpected, and life-changing. Imagine the thrill of finding that one coin, the one that stands out, the one that isn't like the others, the one that could be worth more than 1,000 times its face value. You could be the next person to uncover one of these elusive coins. You could be the next success story in the world of numismatics. But only if you take that first step. Start the hunt. Next up, the 1981 20-cent coin with no mint mark. This isn't just pocket change. It could be your ticket to a serious payday. Now you might be thinking, it's just a 20-cent coin, right? But this isn't just any 20-cent piece. The 1981 no mint mark coin holds a secret that only the most eagle-eyed collectors have uncovered. A coin that blends common appearance with hidden rarity, and that's what makes it so incredibly valuable. Let's rewind to 1981. Australia was growing fast, and so was its demand for coinage. That year, due to the need for mass production, the Royal Australian Mint enlisted the help of international mints. Coins were minted not only in Australia, but also in Canada and Wales. It was a massive effort to meet the country's economic needs. During this production rush, something unusual happened. A number of 20-cent coins were released without any mint mark. No C for Canada, no A for Australia, and no W for Wales. This little detail, or should we say, lack of detail, created an accidental rarity. And that's where the mystery and the value begins. You see, mint marks are essential in identifying where a coin was produced. They help collectors and historians track origin and verify authenticity. But when a coin is missing that mark, it becomes an outlier. And outliers are what collectors chase. The 1981 no mint mark 20-cent coin is exactly that, an outlier. Among the millions of coins made that year, only a small portion escaped the minting process without that critical identifying symbol. These aren't printing errors. These are rare, legitimate issues, and that's why they hold such a high appeal in the collector's world. What does this mean for you? It means that buried in your change, your old wallets, your parents' drawers, or a forgotten jar in the garage could be a coin worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars. Some verified versions of this no mint mark coin, especially those in pristine condition, have been valued at over $8,500 AUD. Yes, a 20-cent coin possibly worth $1,500 or more. This isn't speculation. Auction houses and coin collectors around the world actively look for these coins. They're rare, they're sought after, and their prices continue to rise as their numbers dwindle. Each time one is found and added to a private collection, it becomes even harder for the next person to discover one. The coin itself still carries the stunning design by Stuart Devlin, the iconic platypus gliding effortlessly through the water. But it's not the design that sets it apart. It's that subtle absence, that missing mint mark. It's the type of thing that most people overlook, but trained eyes know it's a goldmine in disguise. And here's the best part. This isn't a coin that was only distributed to collectors or released in a limited edition proof set. This was a circulation coin. That means it ended up in everyday transactions, in wallets, in banks, and possibly even in your home. It's out there, hiding in plain sight. People often dream of winning the lottery or stumbling upon treasure, and this is your real chance. Not fantasy, not fiction, but a genuine, valuable find that could be just a few inches from where you sit right now. So how do you know if you've got the right one? Start by checking the year, 1981. Flip the coin, examine it closely. Look beneath the queen's neck, or around the edge of the reverse. No visible mint mark? Congratulations, you might just have something special. Of course, condition matters. A worn coin might still be worth something, but a well-preserved, almost uncirculated version? That's where the serious money is. Those are the coins that light up the eyes of collectors and draw bidding wars at auctions. It's no exaggeration to say that people have turned old coffee tins and spare change jars into actual profit simply by knowing what to look for. And this 1981 no mint mark coin is one of those rare opportunities. The market for collectible coins is growing. With social media and global online auctions, the demand has never been higher. New collectors enter the scene every day. And with each passing year, fewer of these coins remain available. That's why now is the perfect time to hunt, collect, and possibly sell. Imagine the story you'll tell if you find one. Imagine turning 20 cents into over $1,000 with nothing more than attention to detail. That's the kind of win we all dream about. And it starts with just one coin. So, take this as your call to action. Don't let that jar of coins sit untouched another day. Go check it. Look for the year 1981. Look for the missing mint mark. And look carefully, because treasure doesn't always sparkle. Sometimes, it just looks like a regular coin. Next up, the highly collectible 1968 Australian 20-cent coin with no mint mark. This is no ordinary piece of metal. This is a historic, valuable coin that has collectors across the globe on the hunt. Now, let's rewind to 1966. That year marked a turning point in Australian history, when the nation officially moved from pounds, shillings, and pence to a modern decimal system. The new currency brought fresh coin designs, and with them, the stunning 20-cent coin, a shining piece featuring the graceful platypus gliding through water, created by the brilliant artist Stuart Devlin. 2 years later, in 1968, Australia was still adjusting to decimalisation, and the mints were producing coins in huge quantities to meet public demand. But something about the 1968 20-cent coin makes it special. Unlike some later years where mint marks were applied to show the location of minting, the 1968 coin has no mint mark at all. And that single feature makes it a prime target for collectors today. You see, while most of these coins were minted at the Royal Australian Mint in Canberra, they were released without any identifying mint mark. And over the years, collectors began to notice subtle variations between coins, especially in strike quality, metal tone, and wear. These differences led to increased demand for specific versions, especially well-struck coins with sharp features and clean finishes. Because the coin is over half a century old, many of them have been lost, damaged, or heavily worn. But those that have survived in excellent condition? They're now viewed as rare collectibles, and their value has soared in recent years. This is not just an old coin. This is a piece of history, a piece of Australia's cultural and economic transformation. What makes the 1968 20-cent coin even more fascinating is that it was one of the first follow-up issues after the inaugural 1966 coins. It represents a nation settling into its new identity, and holding one feels like holding a piece of that pivotal transition. Now let's talk numbers, because this is where things get really exciting. In average circulated condition, the coin may not seem out of the ordinary, but a brilliant uncirculated 1968 20-cent coin with no mint mark, full detail, and clean edges? These have been sold for over $10,200 Australian dollars in auctions and private collector sales. That's a massive return on a coin that once sat quietly in pockets and purses for years. But the value of this coin goes beyond money. It's about demand. Collectors around the world are seeking 1968 coins in top condition to complete their early decimal sets. And guess what? That demand is growing. Online forums, social media groups, and coin trading platforms are full of people offering cash for high-grade 1968s. There are collectors in Europe, America, and Asia who are deeply invested in rare Australian decimals. Every day, more people are searching. They're checking old piggy banks, exploring inherited coin collections, or sorting through garage sale finds. And every so often, someone stumbles upon a 1968 20-cent coin in surprisingly good shape. That moment of discovery? That's the kind of magic collectors live for. So, how many people want to buy it? Thousands. And with platforms like eBay, Facebook Marketplace, and online numismatic auctions, you can reach them with a single listing. It's a seller's market if your coin is in excellent condition. In fact, prices for top-grade 1968 coins have increased year after year, and with only so many left in quality condition, the trajectory continues upward. Don't believe the myth that only error coins are valuable. The 1968 20-cent coin proves that even standard issues, when preserved well and placed in the right hands, can be incredibly valuable. It's about timing, rarity, and quality. And the time to act is now. What's really motivating is the idea that this isn't a fantasy. It's a reality that people live every day. They check their change and discover that something they've had for decades could be worth hundreds or thousands. All it takes is awareness and a little curiosity. If you're watching this, take this message seriously. Go check your coins. Find that 1968 20-cent piece. Look for sharp edges, clean fields, strong details in the Queen's portrait, and the platypus on the reverse. If it's crisp and shiny, you may be looking at a piece worth far more than its face value. And remember, this isn't just about selling a coin. It's about owning a part of Australian history. A piece that tells a story of national change, artistic excellence, and hidden value waiting to be uncovered by someone just like you. Coin collecting is no longer a quiet hobby tucked away in a box. It's become a thriving, global market, and the 1968 20-cent coin is right at the heart of it. It's one of the most desirable pieces among early decimal enthusiasts, and it's only going to become harder to find. So imagine this. You go through your change, and there it is. A 1968, beautifully preserved, no mint mark, sitting quietly in your palm. That's not just a coin. That's a reward for paying attention. That's a win. That's an opportunity. Don't miss your chance. Search now. Ask family members. Look through inherited coin jars. Because somewhere out there, another valuable 1968 coin is waiting to be found. And it might just be yours. Thanks for watching. And if you're passionate about uncovering hidden value and collecting treasures of the past, don't forget to subscribe. Like this video and share it with your friends, because sometimes the most valuable things in life are the ones we overlook.